I wrote this record while 30,000 feet in the air.
Get you plugged into the work they're doing. So I mean, if they have a meeting right now, I told them I was coming here, otherwise I would be there. But I've been in contact with them. If you want to go by 12:15, I can forward an email to people if you want. But or you can
Now, what time is that again?
6 p.m. So what time there we go. Get straight in. I don't know if they have set ending. It'll probably be going for a bit. One of the groups held a meeting that ended up being like 2.5 hours long on Saturday. December 12th, and then they'll be there again. So people have a lot to say, a lot of different ideas. I know people have talked about things. They want to have people go down to DC to the inauguration to protest. They want to go up to Marcy Correctional Facility itself to do stuff. They want to question the governor, a few different things. So I think they might be spitballing different ideas about how to respond. And then at the state level, we're pushing for a lot of things. But I think one of our biggest pushes is to get the entire facility shut down, because what we've been hearing from a lot of people from incarcerated there is that kind of violence is like, I have Dr. Brooks was caught camera, but
it's very prevalent.
It's very prevalent. So we're just saying that let's close down Marcy Detention Center.
So just officially, where do you stand as far as the prosecution of these cops? Are you calling for them to be arrested, prosecuted,
yes,
for the crimes? And then also, where do you stand for an anti-Black hate crime bill similar to what the Asians got in 2020, 2021? To where if anybody of Negro descent, Black descent is murdered unjustly, like we see with Robert Williams, Sonia Massey, I mean, the list goes on. I don't know what they things that's happened.
Right.
Nearly, correct. For our brother Nearly Jordan.
Right.
The bill should have them prosecuted. They shouldn't get immunity under the law, because if you understand, during the second term of Obama's administration, there was an FBI memo released stating that various white supremacist organizations have infiltrated law enforcement throughout America. And Obama's administration, and he had a so-called Black state attorney general, and they never went after him. So now here we are years later, almost a decade later, and we see this all the time. And it's becoming too much. We don't want to, respond in a non-appropriate way. We're trying to handle this as civilized as we can. So what we're ultimately pushing for, not just in the state, but nationwide, that we get an anti-Black crime bill passed. That would pretty much prevent these cops from doing what they did to brother Brooks in that prison and many others, because this is not fair.
Yeah. Okay. I'm really interested in that. I have
to support the murderers being charged with murder and nothing less.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as the anti-hate crime bill, do you support that? Would you support?
I haven't seen one. I like the idea a lot. I guess I'll look at the one that was done.
Mr. Briscoe, I think what he's asking is for you to push it. What we're asking for is for you to create an anti-Black hate crime bill and push that. That's what we want to see from you, because I get your mail all the time. Okay. And if you want to continue to get my vote, you're a couple years older than me. So if you want to continue to get my vote, this is what we're going to need from you guys. We don't even care how far it goes. I just want to know that you're on the side of justice. So let's get that man, not just him, because we're here talking about a school. And that's great. But these kids are going to grow up and enter into a world in which they're going to encounter racism and white supremacy. So what are you going to do to change that? And that's basically what we're asking.
For the hate crime bill,
yes, sir.
Just to be totally anti-Black hate crime bill, I'll be totally frank. I thought it was a crime to. So I'm gonna.
Are you talking?
If you look at them cross-eyed, they can bring you up on charges talking about they've been insulted. You can't bump into them. You can't even yell at them. And we are hurt, harmed, deleted more than any other group. But everybody else is have anti-defamation, and everybody else has protection. We need protected status, because we cannot continue what started in slavery time going on right now here in 2025.
Right. Okay, so I'll take a look at the one. I'll find the one that was for Asians and see if there's.
Because we are the lion's share of people who are targeted, not only online but also offline as well.
And again, we're here talking about schools and children growing up. It's a baby right here. What's the point of her growing up if she's going to enter into a world that we entered into?
Right.
And you have the power to change that. That's all we're asking you to do.
You have a full support.
Yes, and you will have our full support. Have the courage to do that. Push that forward, and we'll back you 100%.
Okay, I'll find the one that's the anti-Asian hate crime bill and see how we can.
Yes,
I'd like for us to check back with him.
Foundation of Black American descent.
No, my family is Guyanese.
Guyanese?
correct. Okay.
Black people are being harmed all the time, unarmed, unjustified, and or some so-called heroic citizen like Daniel Penny coming along and doing something to an unarmed Black person. This has got to stop. We've had enough of this since slavery.
Certainly, we have the civil rights movement, gentlemen. So,
Right.
they were fighting for similar things. We have the Black Panthers. They fought for similar things. I was handing out flyers, a bunch of urine, thick matter all throughout there, and this is public house. You understand? So it's like we haven't say something make progress.
And we have got to draw the line right here.
We should have at least arrested them, put them, if they're gonna get lawyers, if they're gonna post bail, then post bail. But they didn't even arrest them. So like how they didn't initially arrest Daniel Penny.
Yep.
You understand? There had to be some type of public outcry in order for him to be prosecuted. You understand? So we see this as a common play. We see this as a common pattern, and it has to stop. And we just here because you're an elected official in the community, and we want to voice our opinions. And we're looking for your help sincerely and genuinely.
It's so important that you know that we are serious about this, and we're coming to you because, as he says, you are an official. You've been elected. We are constituents, and we're telling you what we need, what we want, and what is absolutely necessary.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Well,
And
I
I'm not trying to swerve anybody or do anything. I have not seen I don't know what the language of the anti-Asian one is, so I'll look at that and then see what we can do to make one that's.
There's got to be definite penalties for hurting us, for harming us, for deleting us, for killing us, for no good reason. And then we turn around and the people who have harmed us are hailed as heroes. This has to stop now.
So about mandatory minimum sentencing, that type of language in the bill. You understand? If you of us, if you beat us and we didn't die in spot, something like what happened to Robert Brooks, but he ended up dying the next day, that is enough to get them a minimum of 25 to life with no parole. We have to get serious about this kind of thing.
And take away their pensions too.
That is correct. All of the above. Sort of like what Senator Schumer is pushing for, for there to be some type of legislation against any hate speech that is being anti-Semitic. We want all of that and more because we historically in this country, all right, we have been harmed. We have been attacked.
It's larger than anybody else's Holocaust. Went on centuries longer than anybody else's Holocaust. And it is still being done today. And then when people are already in law enforcement, they get a slap on the wrist and get moved to someplace else where they can repeat those heinous acts, which are totally white supremacist rituals.
And sometimes they have qualified immunity, so they can just get off scot-free and squeeze. But there's a bill to end qualified immunity for police officers. There's a lot of things that we're working on to add to the list of things to look into the anti-Black hate crime law, but we're doing things to get more people out of prisons so that they're not even subjected to the corrections officers, ways we're investing in communities to send fewer people over there. And y'all know if y'all in my district, I represent, Bed-Stuy, Ocean, Brownsville, so I represent some of the parts of New York City that send the most people to these places. So I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions for ways to keep people.
Well, this is the big idea we want you to get a hold of because we all are tired of being killed and ignored when we are harmed. And people act like this is the natural course of things. It is not the natural course of things for us to be kicked, choked, beaten, and killed.
And the murderers go free. They're not even arrested. And why every time, if law is supposed to operate the way law is written, then they should have been at least arrested. They weren't even arrested. I mean, Governor Hochul have visited the facility where it happened, but what about these cops? And we know the more time they have, the more time they are able to draw an argument, a legal argument. So if they are inevitably arrested, they can, have a good case.
Yeah. If anybody here have been caught on video doing
Correct.
what they did.
And Brother Bisport too. Another thing too, we're aware that Letitia James recused herself from this.
Yeah.
And we don't like that.
Yeah, it's because her office was already defending 4 of them on something else.
That's even
It was in a position we could not be.
Okay.
Yeah, represent.
Now, Letitia, with the same thing with that, like she asks for our vote.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our vote, as you've seen with this past election, is going to come at a very high price. So if they want our vote, they're going to have to do something specifically for us. Now, what we're asking, before we do this, I'm going to tell you this. When you walk outside this building today, you're going to see a billboard that we put together that's calling for you to support and create an anti-Black hate crime bill. You're going to see that as soon as you walk outside. Now, again, this is not an attack on you. What we're saying is this is the price of our votes. Our votes are going to be very expensive. We're not the people from the 60s. No disrespect to them. We love them, but we need more. Because again, we're in a school, we're talking about children, bringing children up in school. What's the point of educating these children if they're going to be slaughtered in the streets? So we need to stop that now.
And our votes are a transactional experience.
Absolutely.
You cannot take our votes for granted.
That's why Convo.
We are here. That's exact.
Yes.
Not going to take votes for granted. Without us demanding what we are requesting, what we need, and what we deserve.
And what we want.
Tangibles, no Black folk.
Yeah, and if Brisbane don't do it right, he's gonna lose too.
Yeah.
Now, are there any other politicians that feel the same way as you do?
Am I gonna be in your video? When it's up?
State Senator Salazar runs the Committee on Corrections, and she is leading the letter to call for the closure of the facility, and has also made numerous statements about it. Can I give out some cards?
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I'm so sorry. I'm Principal Malcolm, the principal of the Diva Prep. So this was a meeting. We're going to school. The safety agent, everyone has to leave at 7 o'clock. So I have to ask everyone to leave, to start leaving at
Thank you so much for letting me have this experience here, because it's important for elected officials to hear from constituents, to hear exactly what we need. Our schools are important, but our lives are more important than these schools.
Yes,
lives.
And
I understand, but we just wanted to know if you could have any follow up. Said you were gonna look into things and these matters. We just want to know, are you going to follow up as well? How we can actually have that follow up tangibly?
Yeah, I guess if any of you wants to email me, I'll have one of your emails then. So then we can have a meeting.
We got
one or okay, great.
Well, because I only got 5 minutes.
I think that's enough there right now. Lido here on Zoom. Lido, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, big dog? I'm up in New York right now, and I just see the movement, and I'm starting to figure out how you really putting this together. And I'm getting the idea of how we could all kind of chain link the whole movement throughout the whole country, as far as having people do them pull-ups like you making it happen.
Well, let me just tell you, in the case, there are certain things that I think being strategic about. Dr. King was the same way. Malcolm was the same way. I think New York is really pivotal. It's the media center of the world. It gets a very large amount of attention. It's a place that touts itself as, being Democrat and, we're sensitive to Black folk and, quote, minorities and things. California was pivotal because of the same elements. And that was a great chance to take advantage of that, because they tried the lip service thing and they didn't expect us to show up and say, you're going to have to put some work on that lip service. That was when they started hemming and hawing, and it was a fantastic win because it forced them to finally sit up here and say, yeah, let me try to pull this fast one on you at the last moment. That was pivotal. That was critical. You got Gavin Newsom now trying to figure out what he going to do as a result. Kamala Harris very worried about that. So yeah, around the country, that's great. That's wonderful. Right now, I really think we just have a unique opportunity in New York. So rather than spread resources around 50 different places, I think it would actually be more beneficial to do like we did in California and concentrate all your resources in just one place and make as hard of a push as you can there, as opposed to making little pushes all across the country. So I think where you are right now, if I thought Louisiana had a better football to run, I'd be putting the focus here. If I thought Atlanta had a better football to run, I'd be putting the focus there. You all got a better football to run right now. Y'all got a better one. So I want to rally the team where you all are at. You got a much better football to run.
Okay. Do you think well, I actually know the message is doing what it needs to be doing, and it's weird that you mentioned what you were saying about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, because I literally was speaking on some of the enlightenment that I'm getting from you and the connection between what you get done and what may have been missing from then to now. So, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be strategic about that. I mean, you didn't ever hear about Dr. King in North Dakota. You didn't hear about him in Wisconsin. There's a reason. It wasn't because there were no black folk there. Remember, Malcolm X's family was from Nebraska.
Right.
You ain't never heard Malcolm X nor Dr. King in Nebraska. Malcolm was from there. So, like I say, it's just it's as much, if you want to get attention, you have to be strategic about it. So there's the whole thing about it. It's not that our people don't have needs in various places. We do. But for certain things there, being strategic means you have to make a decision. And I think I think right now is a rare moment. The election is over, and a lot of politicians are looking at 2026, and this is the time to let them know, I don't know what the Democrats told you the issue was for 2026. We're letting you know what the issue is. And don't think that we're going to go away. And it's like, he walked outside, I'll be damned, they bought a whole damn truck. Yeah, we did. We're very serious about this. So
that's a whole fact. Man, I pulled up on Yusuf Salam immediately when he got into the city council over, because he's over the city council district for my district.
It's very important that they know we're visible, that we're active. If they think you're just going to sit up here and say something and go away, because people talk to them all the time. That's also a conversation that we need to have, is how I want you all to talk to politicians when you have that opportunity, because people talk to them all the time. They have people trying to pull their ear all the time. You got corporations trying to pull their ear, corporations in real estate, y'all with the landlords and the real estate agents and the developers and whatnot. These dudes are constantly going at them in the legislature because they want laws favorable to them. And so they got a lot of people pulling at them in that regard. Yours is a different thing from the rest of them because you're not trying to run a corporation. Okay, I understand that, but I want you all to know how to talk to them. And part of talking to them is being brief, to be totally honest. You need to be visible, you need to be active, you need to be frequent, but you also need to make sure you get in, get out. And that's another thing I want folks to make sure they have it summed up very easily. I don't want folks venting.
Right.
Please understand this. I mentioned this yesterday, and I've mentioned this before. New Yorkers, and I love y'all. I mean, I really, really do.
Right.
But venting is a culture in New York. And I understand that. Venting is a culture. In other places, it's like, okay, they was real short and then they swinging on people. It's like, yeah, because venting tends to be a culture there. And I heard some of that tonight, as a matter of fact. No offense, but from some of the sisters there, I heard that tonight. And I'm just like, yeah, you need to go ahead and say what you got to say in about 10 seconds. When we went to pull up on James Clyburn, I want them to get in and say what they got to say in just a few seconds, because I want you to do that so he can start talking. Because the real thing is not for you to talk. The real thing is, okay, ask the question so we can get him to talk so he on the record. You're not running. You're not in office. He is. Hurry up and say what you got to say so we can get him on the record, whatever his answer going to be. Take a look at the phone call I did yesterday when I called Bailey's office.
Right, yeah.
There wasn't no 10 minutes of venting and let me make my pitch to you. Hey, where do you stand on this? No. Where do you stand on this? Oh, okay, that's great. Hey, what about this crime bill? Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. That's it.
And he said clearly he didn't have a stance, so it gave him the room with it without you having to really press for the honesty of what's actually needed to be transparent in the first place.
Yeah, because it's not about convincing them or giving them the details. They understand this. They know all they live right there where y'all are. They know the damn details. They know what the NYPD doing to you. They know what Marcy doing to you. They know what the hell going on. I'm in Louisiana. I know what the hell's happening in Rikers Island. I'm in Louisiana. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I know what's happening in Rikers.
That's the whole fact.
How the hell are you in Brooklyn and the Bronx and you don't know what's happening in Rikers, and I'm in Shreveport and I know what's happening in Rikers? Right. It takes you 2 damn days to get checked in at Rikers. Now I'm in Louisiana and I know that. The plumbing don't damn well work. When winter time comes through, the plumbing freezes. I'm in Louisiana and I know that. Now, I know that all the way down here, damn it, we ain't got to explain that to the man. He already knows what the situation is. The only thing we need to get to is what we're going to do about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to give you my feelings about it. I don't want to vent about it. I know, and folks feel like they haven't been heard, and I understand that, and I get that. Please go find your family members to go vent to. When you're in front of the politicians, it needs to be straight business. I'm just saying, it's like, hey, he's not the man to vent to. He knows this. You got his time. It's like, hey, dude, something need to get done. Because imagine your car needs to be fixed and you have the damn mechanic venting. I got to take my kids to work and it ain't right. Man, if you don't fix this damn alternator.
Let me get out of here and handle my business. So.
I do not. I'll go vent to my woman. I don't need to vent to you to get this damn thing fixed.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. So come through with the points being straight to the point. Just ask the questions and let them say what they got to say.
That is it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Folks, that's a big one there for me right there. It's a big one. You know, when we get in these situations and stuff, make it very brief. Don't have to go through a bunch of explanation. They already know what the hell going on. It's their job. That's one of the reasons they've been avoiding us. They know what's happening. Our job is to make sure they understand we different from the civil rights generation. We watching. Let me go ahead and see if we can get Paris up here on Zoom. Where is Paris at?